know about you, but I always thought this particular picture was rather strange, simply because when you think about it, they're not exactly known as being besties, are they? I mean, there you are, really, if you like, Doria Ragland, not known at all, of course, until your daughter muscles away into the royal family and marries a prince, steals him off and takes him back to California. Suddenly you're the toast of the town. People apparently want to be pictured with you. Or do they? What's truly the story behind this particular picture? As ever, let me explain. Morning, good to see you. Thank you so much as ever for your time today. Nice to have your company, whatever you're doing. By the way, I'm glad you enjoyed my first part of the chat with the brilliant Tom Parker Bowles. He is a nice chap, known him many, many years now, but just a lot of fun, you know what I mean? One of those people, very down to earth, and knows a very good fish and chip shop. Yes, thank you, Tom. I know. They're still better in the north, though. Yeah, I've got, well, yeah, what do you think? Have you tried fish and chips from the north or the south? I agree with him about pub fish and chips, though. Get your teeth in, Neil. I agree with him about pub fish and chips. They're all right, but they're not fish and chips, They're just kind of like how they are. So, yeah, a bit odd. But anyway, do check out part 2 if you get a chance today. Wonderful chat with a wonderful, wonderful guy. And, of course, let's send lots of love to his mum, who's still recovering, probably from the same sort of lurgy thing that I've had. Well, you have to assign yourself, don't you? It's a little bit like this particular picture. Assigning yourself, that's right, Doria Ragland, alongside, of course, reality TV doyens that are the Kardashians. That is, of course, Kris Jenner, Kim Kardashian. Odd picture, right? Just odd in itself. But then, of course, as the Queen famously said, in the fullness of time, everything comes out, doesn't it? And you kind of find out. Now, let me explain this particular background, because it is interesting. As we all know, currently Meghan's still battling away, trying to get the patent sorted out for her lifestyle brand, American Riviera Orchid, right? And again, long convoluted name. Why would you bother? Who's going to buy into it? Goop, Elaine off staff, which is Gwyneth Paltrow's empire. So many are now seizing this down as we all go down a cost of living crisis. That's the problem. Once money becomes tight, luxuries and throwaway stuff and ideas, that are not practical to survival are not number one choice. But according to a very well-placed source, the whole reason why Doria was sent on this begging bowl mission, as ever allegedly, was the fact that basically, even if Kris didn't want to get involved with American Riviera, if Meghan could say that she's got one of the very best momingers, as she was billed, helping out to put this together, this would have worked well. And that, according to that source, was the whole point of the picture. The meeting, Meghan didn't want to go and do this herself. That would be far beneath her. No, she doesn't need advice. Nobody needs to give her advice. But if Mum went along and basically said, oh, my daughter, if you could help, she's struggling, that sort of stuff. Well, it didn't necessarily work. You see, Kris is a very savvy woman. I've met her. You don't get to where you are in this business without her brain cell, as it were. And truly, she knows whether people are just using her for using her, and ultimately, is it any use to her? Yes, she may have sort of endorsed the jam very briefly, but very little else. You've not seen much else, have you? You see, the bottom line also is that Kris Jenner, Kardashians, that sort of stuff, they're big fans of another rival, that is, of course, Victoria Beckham. Again, another nemesis now for Meghan Markle. So while she may have hoped that Doria could have swung the lead, as it were, and got Kris on board, even with just a couple of pictures and a bit of favourable advice, to maybe open the door for a bigger CEO to join American Riviera, it simply wasn't happening. And what happened in the end was Doria got a nice fan picture. Well, at least you got that out of it, right? Neil Sean in the very heart of London.